How the US bombarded Iran's nuclear sites without detection, exploring Operation Midnight Hammer. In the early hours of June 22, 2025, the world witnessed a seismic shift in Middle Eastern geopolitics, though few understood it at the time. While much of the global population slept, the United States executed one of the most daring and technologically sophisticated military operations in modern history. A precision airstrike on Iran's fortified nuclear sites that went entirely undetected by Iranian radar. The mission, dubbed Operation Midnight Hammer, not only exposed gaps in Iran's air defenses, but also reshaped the strategic calculus of nuclear deterrence in the 21st century. This video unpacks how the US struck three key nuclear facilities, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, in a single synchronized operation without detection, and explores the technological, political, and strategic dimensions of this unprecedented military gambit. Target: Iran's nuclear triangle. Iran's nuclear ambitions have long centered around three deeply fortified and heavily guarded sites. Fordow fuel enrichment plant, buried deep within a mountain, designed to survive conventional attacks. Natanz nuclear facility, the centerpiece of Iran's uranium enrichment. Isfahan, Iran's uranium conversion facility. Each location was chosen for its strategic importance to Iran's nuclear program and its hardened defenses. The stealth edge. How B-2 bombers avoided detection. At the heart of Operation Midnight Hammer were 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, dispatched from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. These flying wings, cloaked in radar-absorbing material and equipped with low observable technology, flew 7,000 miles over multiple continents and oceans to reach their targets undetected. Key features enabling their stealth: radar-absorbent coating, heat suppression systems to minimize infrared detection, unusual flight patterns and terrain-hugging maneuvers, electronic warfare support to jam or mislead Iranian radar. The B-2s traveled in complete radio silence, avoiding commercial airlanes and using onboard navigation systems to chart a course through some of the world's most tightly surveilled airspace. The arsenal: bunker busters and Tomahawks. Each B-2 carried 2 GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrators, MOPs, 30 000-pound bombs designed to punch through over 200 feet of concrete and rock. These weapons are tailor-made to strike underground facilities like Fordow. In total, the operation deployed 14 Massive Ordnance Penetrators, 75 precision-guided munitions, a barrage of Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from US Navy destroyers in the Persian Gulf. The Tomahawks were used first to suppress air defenses and communications before the B-2s arrived. The missiles struck radar installations, surface-to-air missile batteries, and command centers. Coordinated chaos: Israel's parallel strike. As American forces struck the nuclear sites, Israel reportedly launched a simultaneous decoy assault on Iranian military assets and proxy forces in Syria and Lebanon. This multi-front chaos overwhelmed Iranian defense systems and diverted attention away from the primary targets. Israel's role was never officially confirmed but widely reported, and it served two purposes: confusing Iran's radar operators and response chains, preventing retaliation from Hezbollah or other proxies. Why Iran never saw it coming. Despite years of investing in sophisticated Russian-supplied SS-300 and locally developed missile defense systems, Iran's defenses failed. Experts cite several reasons. Overconfidence: Iran believed its mountainous terrain and underground facilities were impenetrable. Electronic warfare: the US used advanced jamming and spoofing to disable or mislead Iranian radar. Radar gap exploitation: B-2s flew below radar coverage and exploited unmonitored airspace corridors. Surprise: the operation occurred at night during a holiday period, minimizing readiness. Iranian officials initially denied the attack. Only days later, satellite imagery and independent analysts confirmed significant structural damage at Natanz and Fordow. Damage assessment and fallout. Early assessments suggest the Fordow and Natanz sites suffered crippling damage, with centrifuges destroyed and underground chambers collapsed. The Isfahan facility, while less fortified, was also severely hit. Implications: setback of Iran's nuclear program by several years, loss of critical scientific personnel and equipment, potential radioactive contamination in localized areas. Iran's reaction: rage, denial, and restraint. Iran initially issued denials, calling the reports Zionist fabrications. But within 48 hours, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei vowed divine retribution, while state media showed images of missile launches, likely for domestic consumption. However, Iran's military response has been muted, possibly due to shock at the effectiveness of the strike, fear of further escalation, internal political calculations amid upcoming elections, the global response. The international community's reaction has been split. US allies, UK, France, Japan, quiet support emphasizing Iran's past violations of nuclear agreements. Russia and China condemned the strike, warning it could destabilize the region. UN Security Council, emergency meeting called but no consensus reached. Critics argue the operation lacked congressional approval, reviving debates in the US over executive war powers. Legal and ethical questions. While the US claims the operation was a preemptive strike to halt Iran's nuclear breakout, legal scholars debate the legitimacy. Was it proportional? Did it violate international law? Could it trigger regional war or encourage other states to strike first? Strategic victory or Pyrrhic gamble? Operation Midnight Hammer demonstrated the full reach of US power projection, but at what cost? The operation delivered a devastating blow to Iran's nuclear infrastructure, but it also exposed how fragile global norms against preemptive strikes have become. Elevated tensions in an already unstable region made diplomacy with Iran far more difficult. A new era of stealth conflict. The bombing of Iran's nuclear sites may mark the beginning of a new phase in global conflict, one characterized by stealth, electronic deception, and preemptive cyber-kinetic strikes. The US may have achieved its tactical objectives, but the strategic fallout is still unfolding. As Iran regroups and the world reacts, one thing is clear: wars of the future may not be declared. They will be executed silently in the dark and without a trace.